This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Ewan McGregor stars as Count Alexander Rostov in A Gentleman in Moscow, the new limited series based on the best-selling novel. Stream it on March 29th with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Visit ParamountPlus.com to try it free.
Survivor 46 is here, and so is On Fire, the only official Survivor podcast, and we have a twist this season. The winner of Survivor 45, Dee Valladares, will be joining us every week.
We're going behind the scenes of the biggest moments, the how and the why things happen, and the strategy and analysis you can only get from someone like me, a Survivor winner.
Listen to On Fire, the official Survivor podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Events, and we are talking about a milestone event, really, in Waco, and that is the celebration of a century of storytelling by the Waco Civic Theater. And I am so happy to introduce you to Kelly McGregor, who is the interim executive director, and Misti White, who is the chairman of the board of directors. And we were talking earlier, Kelly, I just did not know the Civic Theater was 100 years old.
Yes, I'm interested to know if we are the oldest nonprofit in Waco. We might be. We may not have achieved nonprofit status until the 50s, so we might not be the oldest nonprofit exactly. But yes, our theater started in 1925 with Waco Little Theater. It was begun by Mrs. Jean Fort. Mm-hmm. Her husband was Mr. Foster Fort, and some people may know from Waco, Texas history of the Fort House.
The Fort House, right?
Yes.
They're next to the silos.
Yes,
First
exactly.
Baptist Church, just down the street. That is incredible. And a few years it, was dormant, and then Paul Baker came back in. That's a name from my Baylor days, certainly heard of him. And
yes, he is definitely a mover and a shaker in town. He was in back in the 50s, and he gathered the original members of Waco Little Theater, and he began Waco Civic Theater.
That is awesome. So, of course, my first kind of awareness of it was this situation where you are now on Lake Air. I presume it wasn't always there. Do you know anything about what theater, facility they used?
Yes, so they were a little nomadic for a while. They actually had a building, and now I can't remember which street it was on, but they would, it was a very long, narrow theater, and it burned to the ground, and then they went back to being nomads again. Mm-hmm. And so that was part of the reason why Paul Baker wanted to give them a permanent home and an established theater building. And so he designed that incredible building. It won an award from the British Institute of Architects, one of the 3 most best designed theaters of its type in the United States. Yeah, and that was in the 60s.
Thing.
Yes.
What a great accolade. Again, something I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's
that
really
is what an impressive history the Waco Civic Theater has had. And you're celebrating that this year. Misti, you first got in touch with me about a wonderful fundraiser celebration that's happening. Tell me about that.
We are having a fundraiser. It's called Curtain Up because it is the first curtain up for our big century season. Mm-hmm. And it will be at Anthem Stories building, which is also a beautiful old 1920s building.
Yes.
And we will celebrate 1920s style with a show and dinner and drinks, and would love to have everyone there.
Okay, and this is happening on April 12th.
April 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, and there'll be entertainment there during the evening.
We're a theater, so we will definitely have entertainment. Yes, Kelly's actually directing, and it's a story about Broadway and musicals and shows.
Yeah, well, curtain up, light the lights.
Exactly.
That's right.
That's exactly it. So all the music is about performing.
Okay, so there's no business like show business.
Exactly.
I'm sure it's going to be featured. There's there's lots of them. Hooray for Hollywood. There's all kinds of things that could be done. So you've got volunteers that are in your cast. Tell me a little bit about the show itself.
Well, it's a variety show from beginning to end. It'll all be songs about theater. It's from some of our best performers at Waco Civic Theater. We've compiled a cast of some pretty awesome talent. But what I really like is that it is what some of those members represent. For example, one of our board members, his granddaughter is going to be performing at that.
Oh, really?
And again, as we explored through a century of stories and what 100 years of storytelling at Waco Civic Theater actually means, we've uncovered all kinds of really interesting things. So one of our performers at our April 12th gala got married at the Waco Civic Theater. She and her husband met there, and then he proposed to her there, and they got married in that building. Also, our board member whose granddaughter will be performing as well. His son met his now wife in 1992 in a production of Cinderella. So we uncovered that photo and of the two of them who did not know each other.
You got to feature that.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, it is sweet. It is sweet. You have, this wonderful brochure. So, Misti, how can folks get this to learn more about, sponsorships? It is a fundraiser. So,
the best way to find out more about sponsorships and ticket sales is just to go to our website, and it's wacocivictheater.org.
Okay. And you have a goal? What are you needing to raise? What are you hoping to raise?
Our goal is as much as possible, obviously, but we would like to raise $80,000. That will help us secure the show rights for next year.
Mm-hmm.
It will help us with our educational program for the summer because we have hundreds of children that come to our summer programs every year.
It has grown and grown and grown over the years. I really have seen that. And your daughter as well performs.
Yes.
Tell me about her.
My daughter's been performing with Waco Civic since she was 8.
Really?
Yes. She was Matilda in Matilda and then has been in many shows since then. And it's her home away from home. She absolutely loves it.
Well,
And she will also be in this show.
Yeah, I know. That's my understanding. She's going to perform as well. Tell me a little bit about you, Kelly, though. It's wonderful that you were able to step into this interim position because you bring a lot of talents to the table yourself, my dear. We were able to do a show or two together.
Yes,
So, yeah.
yes, we have, and it was a pleasure to sing with you in the past. But yes, I grew up in Canada, and my undergraduate is in musical theater from the University of Windsor. Got married there, and then we moved to Florida, where I did a master's in voice performance. So I've been teaching voice for a long time. When I first moved here to the United States, I was not able to work. So as an immigrant and a piggyback visa on my husband's student visa, I wasn't allowed to work. So the only thing I could do was go back to school. And I'm very glad I did because it allowed me to be able to teach at a post-secondary level. And so that's what I've been doing a lot of. However, we moved here to Waco for my husband to work at Baylor University.
Okay,
and
I wondered what brought you to Central Texas.
Yes, Baylor University. We've been there since 2007.
Okay, yeah, you've been here a little while.
Yeah, my children have grown up here.
Yeah,
and it's been a great place to raise kids. And so I've been really involved in the theater scene since 2016 when I just couldn't resist auditioning for Sweeney Todd.
Yes. Well, and I have to say, the Civic Theater has done some amazing shows. For being a volunteer, basically nonprofit organization, it's remarkable. The talent, number one, in the Central Texas area, but then what you've been able to accomplish.
We just love to keep building on that for year after year. And so our next century is just going to be even better than the first because we know that Waco, Texas has a lot to offer and a ton of talent, just so much talent. And what I would love is to keep it here, not to, have these kids grow up and go to college and then leave and go somewhere else. I would love for them to be here and performing in their hometown. And
drawn still to stay because of the longevity of their experience with Waco Civic Theater. You got a great season, though, still. I mean, there's some more shows. Tell them a
Yes.
little bit about what lies ahead.
Well, currently we still have one weekend left of Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief, but upcoming is The Sound of Music.
The hills are alive.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And who doesn't have a memory of this show
Yeah.
or know the music from it?
Yeah, or do one of the performances as a sing-along.
I think we will. I think we will.
You might need
Yeah.
to do that.
We're offering that for 3 weekends in May because we know people love
Right.
this show, and so we expect tickets to sell quickly. So
Mhm.
do get a ticket quickly before
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah.
sell them out. But we have a wonderful director who hasn't directed with us before, and his name is Victor Hawks, and he has a Broadway career. So it's pretty special. We're excited to work with him. I'll be music directing alongside of him.
Okay, and that those weekends start when?
May 10th through the 26th.
Okay, so is that the last big show of the season?
That'll be the last big
Yes.
show of the season. And then we will announce our new season.
At Curtain Up.
Okay. Okay. Well, you'll have to come back and share
Yes,
that with
we would be
with
so
our
excited
audience,
to.
with our audience as well, because I know there's just going to be some wonderful things. But as you say, I mean, you've got to pay for the rights to do these. I mean, there's a lot more involved than just getting some librettos in here, passing them out to your cast. There's a
Right.
lot involved.
I believe our ticket sales only accounts for about 25% of our overhead costs. So these fundraisers are really important to keep us functioning and doing the best that we possibly can and bringing the best shows that we can to Central Texas.
Yeah.
A show like The Sound of Music, it's not quite $10,000, but that's how much it costs just to purchase the rights to put it on.
Really.
So we have a lineup for next year that we wanted to be pretty epic, to be able to
knock it out of the
celebrate.
park.
Yes,
Yeah.
to be
Yeah,
able
for
to
your
celebrate 100
100th.
years.
Yeah.
So that means there's quite a hefty cost involved in
Mhm.
producing a show. That being said, it's so worth it. It's so worth it to see these stories come to life with local people, but just talented individuals who know how to tell that story. And
Yeah.
so we're just really excited to do it, and we would love help to
Well,
get
and
those
it's
on the stage.
fun to see your friends and neighbors up there on stage and
Yes.
performing. And it's like, oh, I didn't know they had it in them.
Listen to that voice.
That's what I know. Who knew? So yeah, that's what's so great about it. But to have this opportunity, especially for young people, like you
Yes.
say, your daughter's been doing this, and she's high school age now, right?
Yes, she's high
So
school
she's
age
been
now.
doing this for several years, and this is something that just kind of gets in your blood, doesn't it? Maybe a little bit.
For sure. And the friends that they make are so authentic, and it really does just become
Right.
a family for these kids. A lot of them don't really have a place they fit into at high
Mhm.
school, and they come here and they just fall in love. And we keep bringing more and more, and it's great.
And as you say, literally fall in love sometimes.
Yeah, literally fall in
Literally
love,
fall in
find your
love
forever
sometimes.
person. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
wonderful.
Well, so Missy, have you ever performed? I mean, is this something that
No, that's not me. I sang a lot in high school, but
Uh-huh.
I'm not a performer.
okay? But what about like favorite show you've done?
Probably Sweeney Todd.
You think it was
I played
Sweeney
Mrs.
Todd, yeah.
Lovett, yes. And then very close second to that was in Light in the Piazza as Margaret.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a
Excellent.
lovely
Excellent
role.
shows. So you'll be telling everybody about season ticket sales and all that kind of the opportunity
will.
to go ahead and buy, a package of these shows and so forth.
Absolutely.
That'll be coming up in April.
So yes, at April 12th, we will be opening up our season tickets. So you will get, as a season ticket holder, you'll get all 6 of our main stage shows.
Mhm.
We do have a full lineup of youth shows that are also coming alongside. We would like to pour a lot of support into those youth programs. The reason, because not only from what Misty was talking about, but also the things that theater teaches children are so applicable to literally every profession as they learn to become storytellers, as they learn to be able to communicate with each other, as they build empathy, as they understand humanity. I mean, it is just so applicable to everything. So we're really doing a lot to try and build our educational program.
Yeah.
And then not only that, we've added what we call a spotlight season. So these are smaller shows kind of fitting in between our main stage shows.
Mhm.
And I mention all of those because what we would like to do is auction off at our event what we would call a platinum pass. And that Platinum Pass will just allow you to come in to every single show, every
Really?
event, every special thing at Waco Civic Theater.
Mhm.
You will have a specific chair, and that chair will be named after somebody that has been a part of our 100 years. So,
That's neat.
for example, if you purchased at auction the Mrs. Jean Fort chair, that would be your chair for
Yeah,
the rest
yeah.
of the season. So,
Aw. Yeah, a lot of thought has gone into this. I mean, my hat's off to you all. I mean, I know your board has been very supportive and, wants to see this, be a huge success, and I'm sure it will be. With the both of you lending your wonderful talents and support to it, a century of storytelling established in 1925, the Waco Civic Theater. What a great piece of Waco history. And what a great way for you to support it as well. So again, how can folks get more information and get their tickets and what for the April 12th gala?
Go to our website at wacocivictheater.org, and there will be a link that I believe says Curtain Up.
yes, yeah, you can go enter tickets, and it is an event. You can purchase it just like that. You can purchase all of the different sponsorships that way. So you can get an individual ticket, or you can sponsor all the way up to a full season underwriting.
And getting your own chair.
And
And
getting
getting your own chair.
no, that you have to go buy at auction. So you better
that's
come.
right. Yeah, right. You can't just go online and say, I want the Mrs. Fort chair.
Now that being said, our auction items will be online.
They will be. I believe it's going to open
okay,
April
good.
the 1st.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Excellent.
and there will be
All
a
right.
link to that on our website as well.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Lots of great talent, lots of great entertainment lies ahead through the Waco Civic Theater. But Curtain Up, that's what we want to tell y'all about. April 12th, coming up, and it's in the evening at Anthem Stories.
Yes.
Building.
Beautiful building.
Kelly, Misty, thank you so much. Appreciate you both.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
for
Thank you
hanging out with us
telling
today.
And thank you for being with us for Central Texas Events. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.